What's up guys, I'm Chris Doughty, aka Doughtinator. Welcome back to the channel. We've got an ACC race for you now. This is on the Race Asylum ACC console server and we're doing some testing now. So this race is going to have variable weather. As you can see, we've just completed free practice and it's just started to rain. We've got a 10-minute qualifying session and a 20-minute race. So straight into the qualifying session, and the track is completely wet, 100% rain, and we're going to need to put a wet setup on the car and see what we can do. It's going to be very challenging, this one. So the wet setup's going to go in the car. We need the wet default setup, not change any tyre pressures. We're going to go now, leave the pits. Tyres aren't quite up to temperature, we need to get them hot, and we're going to see how we progress. A lot of us in this race didn't expect rain in qualifying, and this is my first flying lap. Ollie racing there, just pulling to one side to let me go through. We're going to go through this kink here and we're just gently going through it. There's a car rejoining, we just about get that avoided, and this is a very, very challenging lap. All the drivers in this server were caught out by this wet qualifying session, and I've got to say, I really, really enjoyed this. Having such dynamic track conditions and weather, it just makes the game so immersive, and every single corner we come up to, we're trying to feel the grip, we're trying to control the car, not overdrive the car, but keep as much speed up as we can. Yellow flags ahead, we've got a bit of a rejoin going on. I'm going to squeeze through to the inside here, just clatter over the curb and catch that slide. Just about survived that one, barely, but I think we'll have to go again with our qualifying lap. All the time now we have Ollie racing, just following us now. He kind of tucked into our slipstream and followed us around this first qualifying lap. So he's going through all the danger that we're going through, and we're going to try and navigate to the finish line to get the first lap in. We got a track limits penalty then because we had to go off of the line, so this lap isn't going to count. Traction control is set to be quite safe. So the traction control is working a lot, but it's really helping. The conditions right now are so slippery, and we're going to cross the line, just start our flying lap. We just have to go slightly off the track there to avoid another car rejoining, and this is the end of our qualifying lap. We're going to go provisional pole, and Ollie Racing is just going to beat us by 0.4 of a second, or 0.3 of a second, and that's going to conclude that qualifying session. And trying to push a little bit more, we clip the curb and just get uncontrollable swaz. We managed to gather it up, but then Ollie was also having a crash. We've collected each other, so that's both of our qualifying sessions over. Straight into the race now. The track is dry, it is cool conditions, and I was able to slightly adjust my tyre pressures before this race, so I expect to be quick in the early part of this race. Caught napping by Ollie there on the line, so we're going to have to go to the outside. Looks like Issa is going to get us to the inside into turn one. Great move by Issa. And we're going to follow through now. Third position on the track, Ollie racing in the lead in that Bentley, and Issa's just going to get a bit deep on the brakes there, and we're going to get through just slightly to the inside, and we're going to make a turn in here just as Issa gets to the inside, and Issa does lose the car then. I don't know if there's any contact. I didn't see him there until the final moment once I was turned in. Let me know in the comments below, Issa, what happened there. Was there any contact? Did I put you off? Hopefully that wasn't my mistake, but we've run a bit wide there in that corner. The tyres not quite up to temperature yet, but they are getting there. Ollie racing in the lead, and he's wide through that chicane. He doesn't have that big cut line that we've got, but this is our time to strike, because I think Ollie's tyre pressures may be a little low, and we're going to push this one really hard from the very start, making the most of these adjusted tyre pressures. So it looks like we are almost there with our tyre pressures. The car feels good right now. It certainly feels 100 times more grippy than it was in the wet qualifying race, and it feels really good to drive the track in a completely different dynamic way. The track has so much more grip and the car feels really good to drive. So we're going to close in to Ollie as best we can as we're going to finish the first lap. Again, it's all about fine margins, small details. The tyre pressures have an effect. Even a few degrees temperature difference on the tyre pressures, it all changes the way the car feels. You can be within or more than a second lap off the pace when your tyres go cold or overheat. So we're going to get into brakes into turn 1. Just about collect the apex there. We're trying to really close into the back of Ollie now. So Ollie had good pace in qualifying in the wet. He's got good pace in the dry, and we're going to see what we can do. So we're going to try and bring the car to the apex there. Get the car sliding on the corner exit, flat out through this kink, just a slight clip, catching almost not a slide, but we survived that one, and through the other kink now. This Hungaroring track is really good to drive. It's a difficult track, but it's great when you master some of these high-speed kinks. Running a little wide in there, and as you can see, our tyre pressures are starting to get a bit high. That 28 psi tyre pressure of the left front is a bit too high, and we're going to start to struggle now. It looks like Ollie's starting to pull away. Maybe his tyres are starting to come into the zone as we get a bit too hot, and we just slide wide on that corner exit. These tyre pressures are really suffering. We get almost a slide there to catch that one, and this is where we're going to start to suffer in this race. Skipping forwards now, JP had a nightmare. He didn't switch to the dry tyres for the start of the race, so we're just going to slide through on the inside there. Looks like Ollie got a bit held up either with a few corners before or through that incident with JP, and maybe we are going to get a chance to strike back here. We're going to start to try and close in on Ollie. Check out that the gap to Ollie in the bottom left hand corner. If you are enjoying this race and you would like to do more ACC lobby racing, then check out the Race Asylum Discord. That link will be in the description below. If you are enjoying the video, hit that like button, consider subscribing if you haven't already. We may still continue to do more ACC content. It's very different to GT Sport, but the way it plays is definitely more focused on the driving experience than it is on the kind of door-to-door battling. As you can see there from the graphic, Ollie has pulled away. My best lap is 1:47.4, which is fast for me. It's one of my fastest laps in the race at this track, but I think we're probably carrying a bit too much fuel for the race. Skipping forwards now, this is the last lap of the race, or just about to start the last lap of the race, and the dynamic weather is going to start to play an effect. You can see the graphic there, just above the tyre pressures. It's just the weather is evolving and rain is forecast. These dynamic weather races in ACC are fantastic. They'll bring a new element to basically console racing. It's something that's not in GT Sport. It's very static racetrack. But these always evolving temperatures, track surface, rain, day and night cycle in ACC is fantastic. And the track can either come to you, can go away from you, depending if it heats up or cools down when your tyre pressures, and then you have the rain that kind of comes in, which you have to gamble whether it's to stay out on the dry tyres or whether you need to make that pit stop to change tyres. It's all a complete balance. And what we're going to do with the Race Asylum ACC server is we're going to play with these settings, find some really good dynamic weather settings, and then we're going to host more races now. So the window wiper is on. Rain is coming down, but it's not really going to affect the way the track is yet. I think we've got a few, at least a lap or so before the static water starts to appear, and that's going to finish the race. The race ended a little bit early. We're going to play with those settings on the ACC console server. Let me know what you think of this in the comments below. If you're interested in joining the Race Asylum Discord to get involved with some ACC Race Asylum races, let me know in the comments below. Check out the link in the description for the Race Asylum Discord. Hit that like button if you haven't already, and consider subscribing. Ollie Racing is going to be classified with the win. We're going to bring it home in second place and RA Shadow in third position. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure you come back and check my content, and we'll catch you in the next one.